Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you work, you're always chasing something that never seems to arrive? Like there's some invisible machine draining your energy, your dreams, and of course, your money? Well, my friend, that feeling has a name: the financial matrix. A system so cleverly built that it teaches us to spend even before we know how to earn. But what if I told you it's possible to break free from these chains, take back control, and build a simple, prosperous, and truly free life? The problem is, most people don't even realize they're trapped. We're trained from a young age to consume, get into debt, and trust banks and the government to somehow save our finances. But this system is collapsing, and those who don't see it in time might sink along with it. Now, if you're here, it's because something inside you has already started questioning. Maybe you're already sensing that there is, in fact, an escape route for those who seek true financial freedom. In this guide, we're going to dismantle that machine piece by piece. It'll show you how to break free from financial dependency, adopt conscious consumption, build income outside the system, and live smartly and sustainably. Get ready to question everything you've ever been taught about money. More importantly, get ready to take full control of your life once and for all. If you really want to start transforming your financial life, the key is to keep it simple. No need to complicate things. I've left a link in the first pinned comment below. Click there and find out how to take your first step. Believe me, you'll be rewarded with everything you need to achieve success. Imagine waking up every day thinking you're free, when in reality, invisible threads are pulling your strings. That's exactly what the financial matrix does. It's a system designed to make you believe you have choices, while quietly steering you toward debt, dependency, and endless work. Every advertisement, every bank offer, every shiny new gadget plays its part in keeping you locked into a cycle of spending and owing. The real trap lies in how normal it all feels. Student loans? Normal. 30-year mortgages? Normal. Credit card debt? Absolutely normal. But just because something is common doesn't mean it's healthy or smart. The system is broken, and it's crafted to keep you too busy, too stressed, and too distracted to ever realize it. You chase promotions, bonuses, and overtime, thinking you're climbing the ladder, but you're really just spinning inside a golden cage. Escaping the financial matrix starts with one radical move: awareness. The moment you see the trap, you can start planning your exit. Understanding how the game is played lets you stop being a pawn and start becoming the player. From there, you can shift toward conscious consumption, minimalism, and eventually, real financial independence. And trust me, once you catch a glimpse of what true freedom feels like, there's no going back. From the moment you get your first paycheck, the system already has a plan for your money, and spoiler alert, it's not about making you rich. Banks, credit, card companies, and even governments rely on your debt to fuel their profits. They dangle credit lines, buy now, pay later schemes, and endless loan offers like candy in front of a kid. The goal? To keep you tied up in payments, interest, and financial obligations for life. The cruel genius of this setup is how it normalizes being in debt. Taking out massive loans for college, homes, and even vacations has become part of the American dream. But in reality, it's a nightmare wearing a pretty mask. The more you owe, the less freedom you have. You work to pay off debts, not to build your own wealth. It's a system that feeds on your dreams, while pretending to support them, a financial matrix with a shiny, hollow core. Breaking free starts with rejecting the lie that debt is inevitable. Start questioning every loan, every payment plan, every too-good-to-be-true offer. Building conscious financial control means choosing minimalism over materialism and smart choices over emotional spending. The less you owe, the freer you become, and every dollar you save is a vote against a system that desperately wants to keep you trapped. Everywhere you look, you're told that buying more means you're doing better. New car, success, designer clothes, status, the latest smartphone. You're winning at life. But here's the truth: this endless consumption is a carefully designed illusion. The financial matrix feeds off your need to feel like you're moving forward, when in reality you're just sinking deeper into debt and dependence. Think about it. That momentary high you get from buying something new fades fast, doesn't it? Then you're right back chasing the next purchase, the next upgrade, believing it'll finally make you feel fulfilled. Meanwhile, your financial health is quietly crumbling. Banks and corporations don't want you to achieve financial freedom. They want you on the treadmill of spending, stuck in the cycle, believing more stuff equals more happiness. The real flex today? It's not having the latest gadgets or luxury brands. It's having control over your money and the freedom to live life on your own terms. Shifting from mindless consumption to conscious choices opens the door to sustainable wealth and true independence. Because let's be honest, the best things you can own aren't things at all, they're peace, time, and freedom. You can't fix what you don't see, and that's exactly why awareness is the first step toward financial freedom. Until you recognize how the system is broken and how it manipulates your decisions, you'll keep playing a losing game. It's like being stuck in a maze without realizing there's an exit. The moment you start seeing money differently, you shift from being a passive consumer to an active creator of your own wealth. Developing financial consciousness means questioning everything, every expense, every debt, every so-called opportunity. Why am I buying this? Who really profits from this decision? Is this moving me toward independence or deeper into dependency? When you start asking these questions, you begin to break the invisible chains. You move closer to minimalism, conscious consumption, and building a life rooted in choices, not in habits you never questioned. And here's the secret sauce. Small shifts compound over time. Choosing to save instead of splurge, investing in education instead of gadgets, seeking rental income instead of more liabilities, these are the seeds of real, lasting change. Awareness is like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, you can see the obstacles, the traps, and most importantly, the exits. The journey out of the financial matrix always starts with opening your eyes, when you realize the system is broken. The next logical step is to look for ways to live beyond it. Luckily, there's a whole world of alternatives waiting for those bold enough to step off the treadmill. Think alternative economies, bartering, local currencies, cryptocurrency, and cooperative businesses. These models offer ways to exchange value without feeding the same corporate giants that thrive on your financial dependence. Building a life outside the traditional system also means getting creative with how you earn, spend, and save. Why rely solely on a 9-to-5 job when you can develop side hustles, passive income streams, or digital businesses that create rental income or sell knowledge and skills? These paths not only bring you extra cash, they also bring you power. Power to choose how you live without being trapped by banks or employer handcuffs. And don't worry, you don't have to go live in the woods and churn your own butter unless you want to, of course. It's about adding layers of independence and sustainability to your life. Every alternative you explore weakens the matrix grip. Whether it's investing in gold, creating a home garden, or building a local network of trust, the goal is the same: reclaim your freedom one smart, intentional step at a time. If you want true financial independence, you need to stop waiting for the system to hand you opportunities. Banks, corporations, and governments are not in the business of making you rich, they're in the business of keeping you dependent. That's why creating income outside the system is so powerful. It puts the steering wheel of your financial future right back in your own hands. One way to do this is by developing skills that can be monetized independently: freelancing, consulting, digital products, online courses, or even offering services locally. Imagine building a side hustle that eventually replaces your salary. It's not a fantasy, it's happening for thousands of people who decided to stop playing by the old rules. When you create value, you create options, and options are the real currency of freedom. Another powerful strategy is investing in assets that generate passive income. Think rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, or even niche online businesses. The key is simple focus on building rental income, wealth outside the traditional banking system, and sustainable streams that don't collapse if a boss, a banker, or a bureaucrat changes their mind. Because real financial freedom isn't about having more stuff, it's about having more choices. In a world obsessed with more, choosing minimalism is almost a revolutionary act. But here's the secret: living simply isn't about deprivation, it's about clarity. It's about choosing only what adds true value to your life and ditching the rest. When you stop chasing every shiny object the matrix waves at you, you suddenly find yourself with more time, more money, and most importantly, more freedom. Minimalist living means making smart choices every day. Instead of buying into the lie that happiness is found at the mall, you invest in things that actually matter: experiences, knowledge, relationships, and health. You spend consciously, you save intentionally, and you build a life where money serves you, not the other way around. You realize quickly that you don't need 10 pairs of sneakers when 2 really good ones will do. The beauty of a minimalist lifestyle is how it acts like a financial detox. It cleans out the noise, the clutter, and the unnecessary dependence on constant consumption. As you embrace a simple life, you naturally move towards sustainable wealth and away from the fragile promises of the broken system. And believe me, nothing feels richer than knowing you truly own your time, your choices, and your future. The key to escaping the financial matrix is not found in a paycheck or a promotion, it's found in education. And I'm not just talking about formal education, the kind that tells you to work hard for someone else's dream. I'm talking about liberating education, the kind that teaches you how money works, how to create wealth, how to be financially independent, and how to think for yourself. When you educate yourself about wealth creation, you stop being a passive consumer and become an active player. This means learning about financial independence, investing, understanding the economy, and questioning the status quo. Once you have that knowledge, you no longer rely on others to dictate your financial future. You can make informed decisions, avoid traps, and move toward building your own empire, no matter how small it starts. Self-education is the most powerful tool in your arsenal. Read books, attend seminars, listen to podcasts, and surround yourself with people who challenge the system and think differently. Knowledge is the ultimate freedom, and it opens doors to opportunities that the matrix doesn't want you to see. Once you're empowered with this kind of education, you realize that you were never really stuck, you just needed to unlock your own potential. As you start to free yourself from the financial matrix, one thing becomes clear: you can't do it alone. That's where communities and alternative networks come in. They're not just support systems, they're powerful ecosystems where like-minded individuals share resources, ideas, and opportunities. These networks give you the tools, the knowledge, and the connections to thrive outside of the broken system. Think about the power of community in a local bartering system or a cooperative business model. Instead of relying on banks or credit cards, you trade skills, resources, and services with others who are on the same path to independence. This sense of shared purpose creates a new kind of wealth, one that's rooted in collaboration, trust, and mutual benefit. When you build these networks, you're creating an alternative system that's sustainable, resilient, and more in line with your values. As you dive deeper into alternative communities, you'll notice something else: these networks encourage economic independence and sustainable living. Whether it's through crowdfunding, crowdsourcing, or simply sharing ideas, you'll find that the collective power of these groups is much stronger than trying to fight the system alone. Remember, the matrix wants to isolate you, but in community, there is strength, and in strength, there is freedom. The final step in escaping the financial matrix is to craft a life plan that doesn't rely on the broken system. This is where your new mindset, your financial independence, and your conscious choices come together. It's time to stop living on autopilot and start designing a life that aligns with your values, your goals, and your vision for true freedom. The first step in creating this life plan is deciding what you truly want. What does freedom look like to you? It's different for everyone. For some, it might mean traveling the world without worrying about bills. For others, it's about living debt-free in a self-sustaining home. Whatever it is, your life plan should be built around that vision. Start by setting smart, intentional goals that lead to independence, building a passive income, reducing debt, and investing in education and skills. Once you have that vision in place, it's time to take action. Create a roadmap that allows you to move progressively towards your goals. This isn't a quick fix, but the small daily decisions you make will lead you toward a future that's truly yours. Embrace minimalism, start building alternative income streams, and surround yourself with people who support your vision. When you create a plan that's outside the matrix, you become the architect of your own financial destiny. You've just unlocked the first steps toward breaking free from the financial matrix. But now comes the most important part: taking action. The knowledge you've gained is only as powerful as the steps you take to apply it. So, ask yourself, what's your next move? Will you continue living under the control of a broken system, or will you start designing a life that reflects your true values and aspirations? The path to financial freedom isn't always easy, but it's definitely worth it. Every decision you make today will shape the future you live tomorrow. So why not start now? Take the first step by setting one small, smart goal. Whether it's reading a book on financial independence, cutting back on unnecessary spending, or setting up an alternative income stream, each step brings you closer to a life of true freedom. If you're ready to keep learning and taking actionable steps toward wealth, independence, and sustainable living, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Don't miss out on future content that can help you break free from the system and live life on your own terms.